Shalom, shalom, and welcome. This is the Just Saying podcast. This is your girl, Tisha J. Some know me by Miss Otisha. But today I didn't want to jump on here and just, go in. I wanted to take some time to tell a really interesting story that happened today. So I am actually a long-term substitute. So I go into the schools and I get to, pour into these students and usually I'm with middle schoolers or high schoolers, etc. But I've always worked with youth since I was a youth. And so it's just something that I really love and I really feel called to. And I believe that there are different seasons in our lives. And sometimes we put ourselves in different jobs because we believe that, oh, this is my job, so this is where I'm supposed to be. And sometimes we limit where Yahuah wants us to be. I think a lot of times we have preferences over purpose, and because we're so worried about finances or whatever, we will put a preference over our purpose. And sometimes people get left behind because we won't put aside our preferences. Many a times we would prefer to do the job that makes us lots of zeros behind our check on our check versus the job that will be the most purposeful, the job that will get the most effect, the job that will change somebody's life and truly help somebody to grow. And so in this last season of my life, I've gotten the opportunity to go back into schools. It had been a minute. I had been doing Medicare and I'd been doing well at it. And I had been being very successful and had a lot of zeros behind, behind some numbers. And, but I felt like that wasn't my only purpose. Now, financially, is that something that's helped and something that's been, utilized for the kingdom? Yes. And for my pockets? Yes. But is that my purpose? Am I able to help the many people that need to be helped? And for a season, yes, I would say sometimes on the phones, I would be able to help people. And I'm not saying that can't be used, because there were many times actually I was able to be a light and be a witness and to encourage a lot of elderly people as well as young people, because not just elderly people are on Medicare, but as far as like really feeling like my purpose was um, that I was being used like I could be, or that I was supposed to be, that fullness, no, it wasn't there. And I missed the schools very often. And so after 4 years of being in Medicare, it just told me it was time to step aside, to step out and to do it for myself. And so I stepped out. And I don't want to make this very long. And this isn't about Medicare right now. This is about me being a teacher and being a substitute and being in the schools and being able to go wherever Yahuah is sending me. And so in this last season, there's a specific school that Yahuah sent me to and that I've been able to be at as a long-term sub. And, sometimes it's like, financially, it's not, it's not ideal. It's nice, don't get me wrong, and it's pretty decent, but anybody that knows teachers, that it's not gonna be, Medicare money. Pays the bills though, baby. But as far as purpose, because that's what it's about. And so we did a training on Friday, and it was really nice because as I was in this training, and they said absolutely nothing about this, but they were just giving some tips and tricks. And I heard the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, say to me that it's time to do train of thoughts again. And if you don't know what a train of thought is, I'll tell you. But first, I'm going to tell you what we normally would do in the classroom, because the students are just used to it. Bell work. They're used to coming in the class and there's bell work, and it means that basically you spend some time answering some questions. And because I teach social studies, most of the time those have something to do with the social studies topic that we're going over. And so this time around again, Yahuah said on Friday, this was just Friday, it's Monday today, he said, it's time to do the train of thoughts again. And a TOT. So train of thought is basically where you set a timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can do it however long you want, but I like to do 5 minutes. And I almost did 10 minutes, but I heard Yahuah said 5. And so you set a timer for 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, the students get to write whatever they want. Whatever they want. There's no judgment. There's no thinking about what you're writing. You're just writing. And no, this is not demonic automatic writing. This is you being able to release anything that is in your mind. And I don't know if you know, but as students, as adults, this could be helpful as well. But as students, you have so many things on your mind. And some of my students, they're coming right from lunch or another class where they have to be completely silent, or they're just, coming first thing in the morning and they just have a lot of thoughts and a lot of things going on in life. And even though they're just 7th grade and 8th graders, they have a lot. Life be lifing. Even at 12, 13, 14 years old, life be lifing. And so, I told them, I said, you can either rip this up when we're done, throw it away, or you can give it to an adult, meaning like a staff member. You can give it to me or another one of the staff at the school that you feel comfortable giving it to. I was like, but I don't want you to give it to one of your friends. That's not what this is about. This isn't no passing. This is taking the time out to, write. And I said, and it could be silly and it could be fun, because literally you could write, if you don't know what to write, you can say, I don't know what to write. And then you can start looking around the room and write blue, purple polka dots and, Yahuah or whatever you want to, you can write it. No judgment. I'm not grading it. It's just to get you thinking and to get you not really even thinking, to just get whatever's on your heart off of your heart, off of your mind. And so they began to write. And as they're writing, I'm giving them, 5 minutes, and the 5 minutes come up and it ends. And some people didn't know what to write. And some people were writing like crazy. And some were like, and they stopped and think, because they're kids. And so that's what they're going to do as students. And so anyways, finally the 5 minutes is over. And I go, who wants me to pick it up? And so beautifully enough, a lot of students did want me to read it. They wanted me to read it. They wanted me to read what they wrote. And some of them are going through a lot. And some are just, stressing about school. Some have moms that are sick, and I can definitely relate to that. And so my last class, the last student, she was like, Miss, I have something for you. I want you to pick up mine. Like, I want you to read mine. And I said, okay. So I was waiting, and I, whatever. And I'm kind of moving on to other things. And then here she comes, and she brings me her paper, and she folds it, and she goes, Miss, I want you to read this. Please read it. And I go, okay. And life be life, and sometimes. And so I got busy, and I had to move from that class to then move into another class that's P. So I didn't get the time. Wanted to read these, but I didn't get time. So I figured at the end of school, I'll read it or whatnot. And I set it on the back desk. I have this like back shelf or whatnot, and then I have my desk in front. And so during the elective classes or whatnot, another class comes into my class, and I go to the gym, for PE. And so anyways, the other teacher comes in, and I guess while she was in there, somehow one of the papers fell and blew to her foot, by her foot. And she saw a folded paper, and she almost threw it away. And then she picked it up and she read it. And on this paper was about a girl who was explaining how sometimes she wanted to get rid of herself. and how sometimes, life is just hard, and how she talked to her parents about it and told her parents how she felt and about wanting to get rid of herself. And she just, it was really hard. And so of course we know, she notifies everybody. She doesn't know where this paper comes from, and nobody, they didn't really know I was doing this train of thought thing or whatever in class, but it was just something I was, doing or whatnot. And then when I come afterwards, and she's like, I need to tell you what happened. And she tells me what happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she's like, yeah. She says, so, I found it. And she's like, it's so crazy. I found it. Oh my gosh, I found this. And I'm like, no, you were supposed to find it because you needed to read it, because you would have read it a lot sooner than me and could take action. I wouldn't have been able to read it until 3:15. She was able to read it at 2:30, and able to take action right away. But my point in saying all this is that we were able to get this handled, and, I'll keep you updated. And I'm praying for this young girl, and I know that there's purpose, and I know that she has a plan, that Yahuah has a plan for her life. And this young girl, the honor. I'm a substitute. I'm not somebody that's a permanent fixture. However, for the last couple months, I have been. But I'm a substitute teacher. And this girl felt comfortable enough to write me and tell me how she felt. And Yahuah used the train of thought to do this. And she wasn't the only one. Like I said, there's a lot of students that are going through things, a lot of students that have hard times, and there's a lot of things going on in their lives. And the thing is, sometimes we don't do the jobs that we need to do because we have preference. We want to get paid, and we and life be life, and so I have to. And it's like, Yahuah is like, if you would just trust me, first of all, and if you would just go into the battlefield where nobody wants to go, where most people won't go, because right now people refuse to be teachers. But these young people need truth. They need love. They need people who are going to pray for them and war for them and encourage them and strengthen them, because they have no hope. They have no hope. We live in a world that is so full of lies, so full of confusion, so full of just hatred. And the love of many is waxing cold, y'all. It's waxing so cold. And these kids, these students, they're like, help me. I need somebody to help me. And so that was a cry out for help. And I'm so honored that I was able to be that person for her, because if I would have said, when they asked me if I would stay on, if I would have said, nah, I'm good, because that money ain't there, and nah, right? But provision was made, and not only was provision made, but I'm able to be for these students. And I had a counselor tell me, or one of the staff, she goes, wow, Miss Otisha and she's like, you look at you. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with me. That's Yahuah. I did not do this. Will I continue to do these train of thoughts? 1,000%, because it may mean the difference between a child exposing how they feel about something versus not. It may be the difference between saving somebody's life and not, because life be life, and even at 12. So I say all this to say, sometimes you may even right now feel like you're called to do something. You may even feel drawn to do something, but financially it's not there. Financially, it's just like, dang, I really want to, but I can't. But I want to say to you is, what if you're needed there? What if Yahuah, the Most High, is saying, I need you to go into this place that is unfavorable, is not somewhere you would want to be, not your preference, not where you want to be, but this is where I need you to go, because I need the people there to get what you have. Would you be willing to go where it's uncomfortable? Would you be willing to step out on faith and say, you know what? I'm going to trust you, first of all, with my finances. But not only am I going to trust you with my finances, I'm going to trust that you are placing me here, as Esther said, for such a time as this. It's an honor and a privilege to teach these students. It's an honor and a privilege. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Be encouraged. Be wonderfully well, and Baruch, blessed, right? And allow the Most High to lead you into places for purpose. Because you may be the smile somebody needs today. You may be the hug somebody needs today. You may be the laugh somebody needs to hear today. You may be the encouragement that somebody needs to hear today. Shalom.